Hey, hi guys, my name is Nakashekar and you are watching me on Take My Hat channel. So in this video, we're gonna talk about frequently asked questions in Cognizant. If you are watching our channel for the first time, please do subscribe to our channel and click bell icon for instant notifications. And please don't forget us to follow us on Instagram and Telegram. Links are provided in the description. Now without any delay, let's dive into the video. What is meant by typecasting? Before we go into this typecasting, let's talk about what is conversion. In daily life, we used to see many examples for conversion. A bad boy turning into a good boy, or ice turning into water, and water turning into steam. If ice is turning into water...
Before moving further, let me tell you something. So being a fresher is hard, and applying for an offline job as a fresher is even harder. So as a fresher, you always want some financial independence and some professional experience. So in that situation, when you go for an online hiring platform, most of which are scam, either the companies doesn't pay well or they doesn't exist. In that scenario, you won't get any of your dreams fulfilled. So you will go for offline job searching, which means applying for 10 to 20 companies every day on a daily basis. And this process is a never-ending one, and you will be fed up with this after some time. So among all this chaos, let me give you one good way which you can follow to get a good package from a good company where you can get financial independence and professional experience. So the way is nothing but taking up skill-based assessment test, and I recommend you going for Relevel, which is provided by unacademy. Yes, Relevel by unacademy is India's first hiring platform where you can get job opportunity from topmost companies and startups of India like Razorpay, upGrad, Urban Company, and many other things, and with a handsome packages up to 10, 12, and for some roles which is even more. So guys, you might ask us like why I should go for this, and do I need to pay something? So don't keep all these things in your mind, guys. This is a free opportunity where you will be registering with Relevel by Academy and taking up the test. And after completing the test, the companies will come to you for the interviews, and which you can clear and get a package of and a job role from topmost companies. So all I recommend is go for that. If you want more information, check out the description for full video on this, and even the link is provided in the description. You can go through that as well.
With this room temperature, we are not doing anything. This is called implicit conversion. We are not applying any forces, external forces. With the room temperature we have, the ice is being converted into water. Similarly, the water is being converted into steam by applying some sort of external energy, that is delta. It can be heat or something else. So if I want to convert water from steam, this is called explicit conversion. So in programming language, conversions are of two types. One is explicit conversion and second one is implicit conversion. This explicit conversion is called as typecasting. Okay now. So converting from one type to other type is called as a conversion. Implicit conversion in the sense ice converted into water without any external force. Explicit conversion in the sense water converting from steam. So let's take an example for implicit conversion. Here I am taking I is equal to 20, J is equivalent to 25.5. Here I is int, J is float. So here what I am doing is I am adding int plus float. So what happens here is, here int is automatically converted into float. So here automatic conversion happens. Here we are not doing any, we are not using any casting operator. Perhaps for explicit conversion, we are going to use an operator called as an casting operator. So here we are converting a string data type to int data type. Okay now. So here I am taking a string of value 10. What I am doing is I am going to convert that value to an integer. Converting from high data type to the lower data type is known as a typecasting. So what is graph in data structure? As we all know that data structure is an organization of data, and there are two types of data structures like linear data structures and non-linear data structures. So this graph is a non-linear data structure, and a graph shows a representation of set of objects or node where pairs of nodes are connected by links. So as I was already rightly mentioning, this graph is a non-linear data structure which has two parts. One is node part and second one is link part. So let's take, this is an example of a simple graph where here there are vertices or nodes or vertices are similar. The nodes are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the nodes or vertices. Similarly, the edges are between 0 and 1 we have one edge, and so on. Between 0 and 4 we have one more edge, between 4 and 3 we have one more edge, and between 1 comma 4 we have one more edge. This entire thing, representation of nodes and edges, is known as a data structure called graph. Okay, now there are many applications of graphs in real world. First one is in networks. If you are familiar with networks and topologies, if you want to send a packet from a machine to from one user to other user, if you want to send a data, it will be converted into packets, right? So there are many routers while you are transferring a data from one end to other end. So all the routers are connected in a graph format. Similarly, in social media, the best example of social media is social media will suggest you friends. Let's say you are a person A and you had you had a friend called B. So what it will do is it will suggest a friend called C because A had it will suggest not consider 4, we will consider 3. See, because 1 is friend of 3, what it will do is it will automatically suggest 3 for you. Because of this traversal techniques we have two types of traversal techniques. One is BFS and DFS. In social media, for showing suggestions or friend requests for you, it will follow this traversal algorithms in graphs. This is one real world example. What is dangling pointer in C? Before we go into this dangling pointer, first know what is this pointer is about. A pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. Let's say if you have a variable called A and it is having some data. I don't know what is the data. So what this pointer is doing is, this pointer is one type of variable which holds the address of that variable. Let's say if this address is 1010, I am holding the address of that particular variable. So while we are using this pointer, the main agenda of these pointers is to have data security. So here we are not directly accessing this variable. Instead, we are, if let's say if anyone accesses this pointer, they will just get the address but not the value. They will get this 1010, they will thought this as a value, but this is not the value. The value is present in variable A. So we will get some sort of security by using these pointers. So here the dangling pointer is a pointer which is pointing to the memory location that has been deleted. So if you delete this memory location, let's say if I delete this A, and if this pointer is still pointing to that variable, is known as a dangling pointer. So now let's see an example. See here I was defined a pointer called DP. Initially I was declaring it to null. So here I am writing a block where in this block what I am doing is I am declaring a variable called C and I was assigning the address to that DP. Now what I will do is I will come out of this block. Let's say if I want to access this DP, we are out of this scope. So now this DP is nowhere. So this DP is called as a dangling pointer. Why this DP is called as a dangling pointer is the assignment of the C value is done in this block but not outside of the block. This is known as a dangling pointer. The main insights of this dangling pointer is the pointer which is being pointed to deleted location, deleted memory location. Now what is priority queue? So before going to this priority queue, now let's talk about what is queue first. So as we all know that queue follows first in first out principle. So if we go to banks or if we go to any other supermarkets, what they'll do is the people who are coming first will be served first and people who are coming last will be served last. That is the principle of priority queue. So that is the principle of queue. Now what is priority queue? So let's say if you went to vote, if you want to poll your vote, let's say you are in queue, let's say one MLA or the higher authority came to vote in the same polling booth. Then what they will do is they will allow the person with highest priority and the person with some highest authority, what they will do is they will directly go without entering into the queue and they will vote first, right? So because they are having some highest priority, they are served first. So queue, in addition to this queue property, what we are doing is we are adding some priority to that. That is called priority queue. So this priority queue is having three main features. Every item is having some priority that can be low or that can be high or that can be minimal. and every element with highest priority is served before the lowest priority is served. Let's say the MLA, whoever was with highest priority, is being served in our previous example. Similarly, if two people with same priority are being entered into the queue, then they are served based on the order. Let's say the people of same priority. Let's say if two teachers entered into the polling booth. Let's say if first teacher enters into the queue first, then he will be served first because both are having same priority in that case. So where this priority queue is used in this real world examples. So first one is CPU scheduling algorithms. We have some CPU scheduling algorithms like FIFO, LIFO. There are so many algorithms. I am not going into the day. But in CPU scheduling algorithms, we use priority queues. And in addition to this, we have some graph algorithms like Distra's shortest path and Prim's minimum spanning tree algorithms, where this priority queue is being used. In this, priority queues are of two types. One is ascending order priority queue and second one is descending order priority queue. Let's take a simple example. And so the simple example is there are some priorities like this: 4, 8, 12, 45, 30 and 20. So in ascending order priority queue, the 4 will be served first because 4 is the smallest one, and in ascending order the smallest element will be given highest priority. So 4 will be served first, later 8 will be served, later 12 will be served, later 20 will be served, later 35 will be served, and later 45 will be served. This is ascending order priority queue. Coming to this descending order priority queue, the element with highest will be given highest priority. So 45 will be given first priority, 35, 20, 12, 8 and 4. This is the descending order priority queue. That's it about this priority queue. So what is constructor? While we are talking about object-oriented paradigm, one of the main construct is about constructor. So as we all know that the constructor is one special type of method which can be used to initialize the newly created object. Let's say if I create an object, I had a class called A. I am going to create an object. So if I create an object, what it is going to do is, this object memory will be allocated, and after creating an object, here we are going to call a constructor. This is called calling constructor. This is very important. While we are calling a constructor, the main important feature of constructor is to initialize the values. Let's say if there is an object, here the object is obj, and let's say if this object is having some variables called a, string, b and so on, what the constructor will do is, constructor will initialize the values for this. Let's say 1, take my height and 10.4. So for initial initialization, we use constructors. So there are many rules for writing constructor. I was a bit favor to C++ and Java. So in C++ and Java, the constructor name should be same as the class name. This is the first thumb rule you need to remember while you are defining the constructor. And also there should not be any explicit return type. Let's say if there is a class called A, so the constructor the name should be same as the class name, and see, the constructor should not have any return type. This is the second property or rule. The third property is constructor should not be abstract, static, final and keyword. As we all know about these keywords, this is the third constructor. So these are with respect to C++ and Java. While we are talking about Python, the constructor name is underscore init underscore. This is the name for all the constructors in Python. Whereas in C++, the class name should be same as the constructor name. So while we are talking about the types of constructors, there are two types of constructors. One is non-parameterized constructors and second one is parameterized constructors. So basically the parameterized constructors are the constructors in which we have some parameters defined in it, whereas non-parameterized constructors will not have any parameters. In addition to these two constructors, we have one more constructor called as a default constructor. Let's say if you don't define any constructors in a class, JVM in Java or PVM in Python is going to give a constructor called as default constructor, and in that default constructor there is nothing and it is just an empty constructor. That's all about Constructor. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please click like button, and if you have any questions, please comment in the comment box.